It stretches across mountains, deserts, and centuries of history. A structure so vast it can be seen from space, or at least that's what we've been told. But the real story of the Great Wall of China is far more brutal, far more human, and far more terrifying than any legend suggests. This is not just the story of a wall. This is the story of power, fear, sacrifice, and the millions of lives buried beneath stone. More than 2,000 years ago, China was not a unified empire. It was divided. 7 powerful kingdoms fought endlessly in a brutal struggle known as the Warring States period. Armies clashed across vast lands, cities burned, borders shifted constantly. And from the north came a different kind of threat. Nomadic warriors, fast, ruthless, and unpredictable. They didn't build cities. They didn't follow rules. They struck like lightning and vanished just as quickly. To survive, each kingdom began building walls, simple fortifications made of earth and wood. Not grand, not continuous, but necessary. Because in this world, survival meant defense. Then came a man who would change everything, Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. In 221 BCE, he did what no one had done before. He unified China under a single rule. But unity brought a new challenge. How do you protect an empire so vast? His answer was monumental. He ordered the connection of existing walls and the construction of new ones, not just as defense, but as a symbol of absolute power. This would become the earliest version of the Great Wall. But building such a structure came at a devastating cost. Hundreds of thousands of workers were forced into labor. Farmers, prisoners, soldiers, all sent to the harsh northern frontier. They worked in extreme conditions, scorching heat in summer, freezing winds in winter. Food was scarce, shelter was minimal, death was constant. Many never returned home. It is said that those who died were buried within the wall itself. Whether myth or truth, one thing is certain. The Great Wall was built on human suffering. Constructing the wall was not just difficult, it was nearly impossible. Mountains had to be carved, valleys crossed, deserts conquered. There were no modern machines, only human hands. Workers carried stones, mixed earth, and built layer by layer. In some regions, walls were made of tamped earth. In others, bricks and stone were used. Each section adapted to the terrain, but all served the same purpose: to stop the enemy, or at least slow them down. The wall was massive, but was it effective? Not entirely. Nomadic tribes still found ways to bypass it. They bribed guards, found weak points, attacked where the wall was thin. The Great Wall was not an impenetrable shield. It was a line of defense, not a guarantee. But it served another purpose: control. It regulated trade, monitored movement, and reminded everyone the empire was watching. Centuries later, the wall we recognize today took shape during the Ming Dynasty. After suffering repeated invasions, the Ming rulers decided to rebuild the wall, stronger, taller, and more permanent. This time, bricks and stone replaced earth. Watchtowers were added, signal systems were developed, smoke by day, fire by night. Messages could travel hundreds of kilometers in hours. This was no longer just a wall.
It was a military system. Life along the wall was harsh. Soldiers were stationed in isolated towers, months, sometimes years away from their families, always watching, always waiting. The silence of the mountains, broken only by wind or the distant sound of approaching danger. For them, the wall was not a monument, it was a prison. Over time, dynasties fell, empires changed, and the wall slowly lost its purpose. Parts of it crumbled, sections were abandoned. Nature began to reclaim what humans had built. But the legacy remained. Today, the Great Wall of China stands as one of the greatest achievements in human history, a symbol of strength, a symbol of unity, but also a reminder of the cost of ambition, of the power of fear, and of the millions of lives whose stories were never told. Because behind every stone lies a human story, and behind this wall